This is a heat pump. Nearly all the homes that we build in this environment, in this climate, we install heat pumps as the main heating and cooling source for the home. A few things I wanted to point out about your heat pump. For one, the heat pump consists of two separate pieces, the indoor unit, which we're looking at here, and then the outdoor unit, which you may have noticed on the outside of your home, which is the metal box that has a fan running inside of it. Those two pieces communicate via these lines right here. These are refrigerant lines that run between the outdoor unit and the indoor unit. So these are bringing either heated or cooled refrigerant to run through this unit and heat or cool your home. Another thing I wanted to point out was the zone control system. So every one of our homes is going to have multiple zones. If a house has 2 floors, it's going to have 2 zones. If it has 3 floors, it's going to have 3 zones. That means each zone has a separate thermostat to control the heating and cooling for that area of the home. This is the brain that controls that. This brain is then connected to what are called zone control dampers, and you can see them on the side of the ductwork here. So this unit has 3 zones, so it's got 3 pipes kind of exiting the main pipe here, and each one of those zones has a damper inside of it that either opens or closes depending on if you're calling for heating or cooling in that portion of the home. The last thing that I wanted to point out with this heat pump here is the condensate line. So a heat pump creates condensation as it is cooling your home. We need to get that condensation out of the unit so that it doesn't flood, doesn't cause an issue. And so the condensation falls into a pan inside the unit. It falls into this PVC pipe, which we then have connected to a drain in the basement. You want to make sure that this line is always connected to that drain. You want to make sure that it's not broken. You want to make sure that it stays intact and it's doing its job, because if at some point this condensate line breaks, you would then have a water leak in the home. There is also a pan underneath the HVAC unit. This pan is sort of a backup to your condensate line. So if there is ever an issue with the condensate line backing up or the pan, the primary pan inside the unit, you have this secondary pan underneath the unit. If this pan fills up with water, there's a switch on it that will shut your HVAC unit off so that it does not flood with condensate down here. So if you ever notice water in your condensate pan, you want to contact an HVAC contractor immediately. That means that something is not right with the condensate portion of your HVAC system. We also highly recommend that you engage with an HVAC contractor for a regular HVAC maintenance program. Usually they'll have a maintenance program where they'll come out to your house generally twice a year in the heating season and in the cooling season as they begin to inspect your unit, do maintenance on the unit, make sure it's running properly for the season that you're going into. Generally, they can also help you with filter changes at that point as well.